Hey guys, have you seen Multiverse of Madness? Like Doctor Strange 2? Like, what the f did I just watch? What just happened? Seriously. What's up, guys? Welcome to a nerdy rant here at Green and Gaming. So today I wanted to come across Doctor Strange 2, The Multiverse of Madness. So the movie recently came out on the 6th of May, which was this month. I saw the opening night, which was Cinco de Mayo, Thursday. And let's say we all had expectations. I had my own. I know you had your own. And I think for my part, it didn't really play out the way that I thought it was going to be. Going into the movie, I didn't necessarily believe that Wanda was going to be a protagonist. Now, as I talk about this movie, I'm not going to hit it in chronological order throughout the movie. I have severe ADHD, so whatever pops up in my mind as we go and whatever's seen, we'll talk about it. But seeing as, it started off with Doctor Strange going into a different universe, and it was a different version, of course, from a different Earth. And we see American Chavez, which was, I guess, one of the leading roles, one of the new, pretty much, I guess you can say mutant, not necessarily mutant, but you can't really say that because it's Marvel Studios, but just a new hero. And, she couldn't really possess her powers, and she couldn't really control them. There was a lot going on, and I saw the premise of it because I thought that the monsters were, attacking her because they wanted her powers, and that's pretty much what it was. Like, once the opening scene stopped, and we saw Doctor Strange wake up in his own dream, and we saw him virtually just see his, self from another universe be destroyed. Now, going into it, he seeked out help from Wanda, not thinking that Wanda was going to go apeshit the way she did. I didn't honestly think that she was going to have the Darkhold to pretty much abuse its powers.
She's a kid.
But at the same time, watching the end of WandaVision and that end credit scene in the season finale, we kind of understood that she was not really in the best state of mind. She was very emotional. I can understand. I mean, it's her kids. She wants to see her kids, and she would do anything to see her kids. But in this universe, that didn't happen. It never happened. It was practically like she was playing a game of The Sims, and it didn't work out the way that she wanted. But yeah, she turned into the protagonist, pretty much trying to capture America Chavez and seek out her powers by trying to throw everything at her, which any kind of monster that she can control from her powers of the Darkhold. And man, Wanda went off in this movie. I can honestly say it was a Doctor Strange 2 movie, but I mean, Multiverse of Madness, it spelled out mom. Come on. Like, you didn't think Marvel Studios was just gonna, put that in there without realizing it was all about Wanda. Or, you can call it WandaVision 2, if anything. Seeing from previous movies or shows like Loki, or Spider-Man No Way From Home, you thought, it's going to be a little bit more action-packed, which it still was, but what I'm saying is you thought you were going to see more characters. Maybe more of the X-Men involved, or the different universes that Sony and everything else kind of like produced combined together. Honestly, for me, I honestly thought I was going to see Deadpool, at least a credit end scene where he was going to break the fourth wall like he usually does. But I mean, going into it, Wanda was just trying to get her kids, and it was nice seeing this dark, brooding version of her. Like, she didn't stop at all. Like, she wanted it. She wanted what she couldn't have, and that was her kids. And it took everything in her power to try to achieve that. Trying to get to America Chavez, and whoever got in her way, she was going to stop, regardless. It was really neat seeing how the multiverse kind of, was and expanded after Loki and Spider-Man No Way Home, because we kind of saw glimpses there. I mean, we all know that Loki kind of started the whole trend towards the end of it, of how, he who remains was killed by Sylvie. And honestly, for me, like, that was very exciting because that pretty much brought on other variants from other universes. And that got me excited because I actually like Kang the Conqueror. Like huge nerd. Like, this man, I cannot wait for him to come across Marvel Studios. And of course, you got Spider-Man No Way Home. You saw the rip in time and space of the different multiverses and different universes when we saw different characters that weren't necessarily played out. You saw some familiar ones. If you see in the clouds at the end when time rips, you see all these characters. You see Scorpion, you see Rhino, you even see Craven. Now, Craven's actually one of my favorites. He's going to be introduced into Spider-Man 2 later on. I believe either this year it comes out or next. But this is one of the major reasons I want to get a PS5, and I'm so excited for it, honestly. But getting back to Multiverse of Madness, it was nice seeing Wanda show her true potential. And when they got to, what was it, the universe where Carl Mordo was there, and I believe, what was it? I want to say it was 838 Earth. And that's where, you know, we saw the Illuminati, and the Illuminati consisted of Carl. We saw, what was it, Rainbow, I believe her name was. She was Captain Marvel. That was actually pretty cool. Of course, we saw Professor Xavier, and I cannot tell you how hyped I was to see him in the chair, the yellow floating fucking chair from X-Men and the 90s series. And of course, they played a little tribute towards the end where you heard it, and it was like, like, come on, like that gave me goosebumps. I don't know about you. But we saw them, and then we saw Black Bolt. He was introduced in the Humans, technically. Me and myself, I've never seen the series. I've seen actually poor reviews. And don't get me wrong, I'm a huge Marvel fan, but I will say, and I will admit, that I have not seen all of it. I have not seen Black Widow. I have not seen the Eternals. And I have not seen Inhumans. I have seen some of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I have not finished yet. Anyway, like I said, getting off track here. Going back to it, seeing the Illuminati, and then, Wanda doing the whole dream walk, learning from the Darkhold. It was pretty cool. Like, that was a great concept of the Scarlet Witch. She could practically take hold of someone's mind using the Darkhold and her dark powers, of course. And seeing her take that Earth's Wanda and being stronger than her and practically running through the Illuminati trying to, possess America Chavez's powers. And how the Illuminati played the witch down. Come on, man, you can't be doing that. That's a Scarlet Witch. That's one of the most powerful beings in Marvel. I mean, next to, the Phoenix, Apocalypse, certain other characters everybody knows. But to see this Wanda take over another Wanda that was just practically wearing mom clothes, mom jeans, no socks, no shoes. And then within a matter of 10 minutes, we saw her shred through Richard Reed's, Professor Xavier, Captain Marvel, Black Bolt, and of course Peggy Carter as Captain Britain. Now, when I saw that, it kind of gave me a sunken feeling in my heart because I actually like the Illuminati. They introduced a certain group that was very popular in the comics. There are a lot of groups within groups within groups in Marvel. So, I mean, with the Avengers, you have the Dark Avengers, you have the New Avengers, you have, all these different types and from different multiverses and different, superheroes being in those groups. But seeing John Krasinski, I can tell you that I have never seen a more perfect person for Richard Reeds. When he popped up, I was more excited for him than I was for Professor Xavier. And Professor Xavier was the actual rendition of the 90s X-Men. But I thought he played that role very well. But anyway, after shredding through everything, of course, Doctor Strange tried to go through different universes and get back to him and try to come across the Book of Ashanti, which was, I guess, the opposite of the Darkhold, which was pretty cool. But he came across it. Of course, it got destroyed. But towards the end, of course, when he tried to get to America Chavez and Scarlet Witch, after Scarlet Witch, pushed everybody out through a different universe using Chavez's powers, he tried to get back. He met another different version of him that was, overtaken, by the Darkhold, and we saw him with the third eye. And of course, that Stephen Strange said, with this book, practically, there comes some consequences, and that's when the whole eye popped up. There's a certain darkness that follows the book, and of course it corrupts anybody who comes across it. So, but it was cool to see them go against each other, especially in the whole music notes. I mean, it was like a Beethoven concert, different concept, but it was actually pretty cool. I believe that Sam Raimi did do a good job of, kind of making you realize there's more to Marvel than just the classics and the straightforwards and Captain America and Iron Man. But it was pretty cool to see that, and also kind of Stephen Strange taking over the Darkhold, and throughout the movie we saw him kind of relapsing with the Darkhold. We saw Black Bolt take out Stephen Strange because he was corrupted by the Darkhold, and we saw another version of Thanos just stabbed to death. But at the same time, I mean, he caused an incursion, what they call an incursion, which was, I believe, the rip between two universes. I believe they were ripping and then kind of combining and then destroying themselves. But either way, the universes were tearing down, and that was not a good thing. But to see Black Bolt in action and to see him use his powers just to completely destroy Stephen Strange within a whisper was pretty cool to me. And I can't wait to see other characters. And I don't think these characters are fully dead. I mean, we can see other variants. We can see other variants of Tony Stark. Tony Stark can come back. And that's a pretty cool concept to me. You know what I mean? Also, I will take note that Stephen Strange did take over his own body. Yeah, he took over his own dead body. And what he did with him was pretty cool because it was the undead Stephen Strange, and he kind of had like these weird, I forget what it was, but it was these dark figures that pretty much protected the timeline. Kind of like the concept of like the Speed Force, and when like Barry kind of like abuses it. There's something in the Speed Force that tries to capture him and tries to make him pay for his sins, kind of deal. But he used it, and he kind of combined them together, and he was like this undead Stephen Strange with wings of dead souls, and it was pretty cool. Now, don't get me wrong, this movie was kind of random at some points, and there were like a lot of plot holes in some points too, because it kind of seemed like it was too cartoonish. But you gotta understand, like, this is the most Marvel thing that's ever happened. Like, it wasn't just necessarily random, but it was just kind of pushing everything to its limits, pushing these characters to their abilities and what they can do, and the different variations of their powers and whatnot. And I thought it was pretty cool. You know what I mean? The only thing I don't agree with this movie, though, is the way they sent out Wanda. Now, of course, we see Wanda come across her kids. America Chavez gets a control of her powers, tries to fight Wanda at the end. It was a little awkward, won't lie, just because of some lines and some eye contact. But when Wanda went through the space rift that American Chavez, put up, she saw Billy and Tommy, and they were with their mom that she initially took a hold of from the Darkhold. The whole mom jeans, no shoes, and it was a sad moment because she kind of realized that she can't have what she wants, and not in that universe, and not her as that variant. And technically, it never happened. So she kind of realized that, and she was sad, and she didn't want her boys to see her like that, kind of overtaken by power. And right after that scene, of course, she destroys the temple, her throne, her shrine of the Scarlet Witch, and it kind of collapses on her. And I didn't like that. I didn't think that was like a final, not necessarily goodbye, but just a see you later, because I don't believe that she's dead. I just think that she's going to be in slumber for a little while until maybe the next big thing comes around. Hopefully Kang the Conqueror, you know what I mean? Maybe we'll see another variant of Thanos. Yeah, but I didn't like that because technically the only reason the movie stopped was because Wanda stopped. If she didn't stop, and if she didn't do what she did, she could have killed everybody. She could have gotten what she wanted. She was that strong. And that's how strong she was in the comic books too. So the only reason they beat her is because she beat herself. You know what I mean? But I will say that for this movie overall, I would give it 8.5 out of 10. It was a good movie. I enjoyed it, and I believe that Sam Raimi did a good job. I want to see him do more projects. Hopefully he can do more Spider-Mans too. I did like the original Spider-Mans. Of course, I didn't like the third one, just how, awkward it was. You know what I'm talking about.
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
You know what I'm talking about, Peter Parker. But anyways, I would see it again. I think it's a good tie going into, phase 4. Hopefully it kind of ties a little bit more together in the next couple movies because it's all jumbled up. But at the same time, it's just the start of phase 4. We just hit the multiverse. So for right now, this is a great start. This is a great concept. And I think Marvel Studios is going to do great things, introducing new characters, new story arcs, new multiverses. And it's going to be exciting to see other variants too. We saw plenty of, Loki. We saw plenty of Spider-Man. We saw variants of other people too. but it's also bringing back the concept that not everyone's dead, not fully. Maybe in this universe, maybe, you know, on Earth 616, which I believe is ours, which is the one we're in, which is the one Marvel Studios is initially in right now. But hopefully it'll get better. And just think about it. It's kind of like restarting at Iron Man 1. You know, we didn't have anything back then. We were barely trying to get the Avengers together within 4 movies within, what, 8 years? So, but anyway, this has been my nerdy rant. I know it's been jumbled and everywhere, but, you know, can't really stay focused up here when you're excited about Marvel Studios. But I want to thank you for watching this video. If you like what you saw, don't forget to like, subscribe. I'm going to have more nerdy rants about different other, you know, Marvel movies and whatnot. I want to revisit Loki. I thought Loki was awesome. And kind of go back and start from WandaVision, Loki, and so on and so forth. And also, you know, watch the Eternals, watch Black Widows, because I feel like somewhat it's going to tie in somehow, but I feel like some of these are fillers. So, but thanks for checking me out, and I'll see you guys soon, all right?